Oh, right. Well, see, I have to be controversial for my third pick. So that's why I clarified specifically about Luis Tiant playing on the Yankees because super, super not ever going to be considered or regarded in that capacity for the Fenway faithful. So I'm going Luis Tiant because that doesn't make any sense as a diehard Yankee fan. Yeah, he can rock with me. He was a character. This is a very similar pick to Bartolo in the sense of like Tiant being quirky and just a little different and a Latino. So I was like, all right. Oh wait, I have Venezuela, DR, Cuba. Wait, Cuba's right? Cuba. Okay.
Yep.
I'm liking how these guys are coming together. You got a quiet sexiness to Abreu, and then Bartolo's larger than life, and Tian's a quirky dude. I like my Three Stooges here.
Tiant spent 8 years with the Red Sox, and then went to the Yankees in 1979. A bunch of top 10 Cy Young finishes with the Red Sox. Came and was productive for the Yankees in those 2 years, and two important years in Yankees history, 79 and 80, both making runs to into the playoffs, into World Series where they ultimately didn't win. 30-game starter for those 2 years towards the back end of his 30s, and definitely an all-time Cuban character. And this is in an era where Cubans weren't really playing in Major League Baseball, but Luis Tiant was playing at a very high level.
Three-time All-Star,
Yep.
something like that.
A few sub-2 ERA seasons, which is nuts.
Stud.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, more than a handful of 20-game win seasons. Let's see. How do you follow this up? How do you follow this up? I love how we're playing off each other with the picks, and I'm having a blast with this. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect.
I'm excited
nice.
for my next pick. I've been lining them up. But first I want to give some love to El Duque, who is another prominent Cuban for the Yankees. El Duque, he was only a relief pitcher, but he was as impactful of a relief pitcher as you can have on some of those Yankees championship teams in the early 2000s. Really known as a lifetime Yankee. The story of El Duque, as well as his brother Levon, was really interesting, in terms of how they defected to the U.S. and everything, and how dominant, how scared you were of Orlando Hernandez warming up in the bullpen. Want to send some love to him, another Cuban legend. My pick, I'm stoked for. Are you guys familiar with the work of George Twinkletoes Selkirk?
No.
No.
I I was looking for Canadian Yankees last night, and I stumbled upon George Twinkletoes Selkirk, right fielder for the Yankees starting in 1934. He was born in Huntsville, Canada. He wore the number 3. Two men in Yankees history have worn the number 3. One of them was Babe Ruth, who I also didn't pick, and George Selkirk. George Selkirk hit 300 a bunch of seasons, had a 1.04 OPS, .931 OPS, .969. After Ruth left the Yankees, this guy was the starting right fielder for like 10 years. What popped off the page was when I saw his nickname. It's literally on Wikipedia, George, quote, Twinkletoes Selkirk. Apparently, that's what his friends called him. He played from 1934 to 1942. This is as deep cut as you're going to get. I had never heard of this man before I looked on the computer yesterday. Probably the most prominent Canadian to play for the Yankees. And he had a pretty good, solid career, 2-time All-Star. Won 4 World Series, won 5 World Series with the Yankees. He's the winningest Canadian in the history of baseball, and that's because he was on some of those dominant Yankees teams. George Twinkletoes Selkirk is my pick.
Some may say he's the Canadian Bobby Abreu.
Apparently, he was inducted into the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame in 1983.
Yep.
Good for Twinkletoes, man. 18 homers, 107 rubies, 308 average in 1936.
I'm looking at this board, and we could have drafted a list of players with checkered Yankees relationships or past, like just strictly that criteria. There's enough players for that.
So many.
Yeah.
High profile too. You have Ken Griffey Jr. There's a bunch.
Yeah, Ken Griffey hating the Yankees is good enough to get him on there.
Who do you think hates the Yankees most? Kurt Schilling or the field?
I'll take Schilling.
Trick question. It's Manoa.
The Schilling probably hates the media more.
Oh my god.
I think he hates the left the most, but yes.
Back to you. Oh, back to my man Jake. It's been a while since we've heard from you, friend.
I forgot I was playing, honestly. Y'all did a lot of the grunt work, shall I say.
A lot of derailing.
Oh, my my roster is done for at this point. I have to resort to countries that aren't necessarily on the list right now. Ever been to Amsterdam? Great place. That being said, I'm bringing in a backup shortstop in Didi Gregorius, Yankees legend.
Okay. He's okay.
I have Jeter now and his predecessor. So I feel like I'm kind of building something new. I don't know what that thing is yet, but it's going to work. How many clutch Didi hits have we seen throughout his career as a Yankee up until 2019, 2018 when he got injured? Dude was rocks for us for a hot minute there. There are a few other countries I could have gone with. I was thinking Canada as well, but I feel like this ultimately going to be everyone's like fallback at the end of the day. So I thought I would pull everyone for a loop for a second and bring Didi into the mix.
So you bring Didi into the mix. I'm curious then. How much of a comparable would you say JJ Hardy is as a shortstop and his overall value compared to Didi Gregorius?
Ooh, let's check.
Because JJ Hardy was Buck Showalter shortstop in Baltimore, and Buck knows his shit. Holes of an arm, good range, great defense, and then anything at the plate was a plus, like 20 home run guy, 100 RBI, but like a 200 average or 230, something like that.
Can he still play short now?
Oh no, JJ Hardy probably long gone.
I know he retired in 2017. I'll put it this way. JJ Hardy definitely had a longer prime based off of his numbers here. It seems like he was a productive player for a longer time, for sure, like over a decade, whereas a very strong prime within that time. And it also led to a lot of success with the Yankees in the playoffs. So I think that Hardy could have been the Yankees shortstop that never been, if you want to put it that way. But I can see where the comp is made for sure. Although I would say that Didi overall, if we're talking prime, Didi has the edge just because his OPS is a little bit higher and playoff performance, all that stuff.
Fair. And to me, Didi also represents the impatience of just Yankee fans or Yankees ownership in general. Like, you got spoiled with the captain and you failed to see the value that Didi presented us with, but whatever. Yeah. I wasn't a fan of letting him go. That's not obvious.
It's tough because like Didi has since that point declined significantly, just because I think his body is starting to give out on him. But I mean, I think that just says like that's a testament to how he laid his body on the line to play for this team for all those years. Because shortstop in Yankee Stadium is demanding. Shortstop as a Yankee is demanding. So he lived up to any kind of expectations I think that fans could have realistically wanted for him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. And just to clarify, Didi is from the Netherlands, so that takes Europe off the board. So that Jake just picked from our at-large Europe region.